Welcome to the Allured Life podcast. My name is Katie Christ, and in 2016, I wrote down in a journal that I was going to become unapologetically my best self. And my purpose is to help women do the same, whether that's overcoming body image issues, creating next level inner confidence, or up-leveling our emotional intelligence and sense of worth. I believe that by investing in and developing who we are, we can exponentially transform the world we live in. My mission is to create power and influence in the hands of women. These are conversations for those ready to rise. This is the Allured Life podcast. Let's go all in. Hello, my friend. Oh, I have something in my teeth. Good job recording. And welcome to the Allured Life podcast, the podcast for personal development. I'm your host, Katie Youngdahl. This episode, we're going to do it a little bit differently. And I'm realizing my mic was behind me. If you're like, Katie, what's going on? Why are you not prepared for this? That's because this podcast is going to be different because we're going to be talking about moving through emotions and what that looks like. And the way that we're going to do this is I'm your test dummy right now. So what I want to do is explain what I'm feeling right now with it, which is anxiousness. And then I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to process my emotion through. Right now, the plan is to sit and journal, to sit with my emotion, let it move through me. And then I'm going to come back and talk about my experience. So hopefully this works. I'm leading by example right now. Right now I'm feeling this level. I feel it in my chest, this anxiousness. I was just on the phone with Ryan, kind of explaining a couple of the things that is going on right now. And I feel like with anxiety for me comes when I'm allowing my badass, my doing energy to be in the driver's seat. So we know we've talked about, and if you haven't, go listen to it's the Go All In Masterclass. It's a couple episodes. It's actually way back. I'll link them below, explaining these three different energy types, these archetypes that I like to talk about. I learned them from Melanie Ann Layer. We have our badass, which is our doing energy, this masculine energy, this forward moving energy. We have our feminine energy, which is our goddess, our lean back. This is where we actually experience our emotions. And then we have our boss. And the boss is this beautiful hybrid of the two coming together. And the boss is all about what you have, which really the results. And so right now I'm experiencing in my body this level of anxiety. And anxiety comes up for me when my badass is the one that's driving the car. And the badass, an empowered badass, what the badass loves to do is do. If the badass had 100% free reign on everything, it would just be doing and 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 going and going and going and going. And what does that sound like? Sounds pretty anxious to be like, oh my gosh, gotta keep up. The badass also just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks, because if there is no plan in place, the badass just wants to do. And so if there isn't a next step for the badass to say, okay, I know that this is the right next step. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I got to accomplish it right now. It'll keep thinking and second guessing. It's like, is this the plan? Is this the plan? Is that supposed to do? Am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to, what about this? What if this happens? What if that happens? What about if they talk to me like that? Goes crazy. And so that's what I'm experiencing right now is I'm in the badass and I've forgotten the boss, because the boss is the one, it's this lean back energy. It's understanding, just contemplating what's going on here. Katie, you're feeling anxiousness. Katie, you're trying to do, but what you're trying to do is not resulting in anything that you feel good about. You don't feel good right now. What's going on? Lean back into contemplation and understand what is your goddess version of you, the one that's receiving this emotion, that this emotion is really tapping into this anxiety. What's going on here? Because it's who you are being, the goddess version, dictates what you do, and what you do dictates what you have. So right now I'm experiencing where I have my day and I don't like the results that are happening for this day, and I don't enjoy the emotions that I'm experiencing. It's go right back to, okay, who am I being right now? This anxiety that's coming up. I vehemently believe that every emotion has a positive intention. So this anxiety is telling me something. It's triggering something inside of me right now that needs to, it's asking to be looked at. Am I brave enough to sit with this emotion without it meaning something? This is the biggest thing that I've learned that we do wrong, is that we have these emotions coming up, and it's not the emotion that's wrong. It's not the anxiety that is wrong. It's a compounded emotion. So it's my thought about why I'm feeling anxious, which is thoughts of I'm not worthy enough. I'm not doing enough. I don't look like her. I'm not acting like her. Thoughts of, oh, you're going to fail right now. What if this doesn't work? Like, these are thoughts that are going through my head right now. So it's this, I feel bad, which when it comes down to it, just, do you feel good or you feel bad? You feel bad. And then I have a thought of, okay, why do I feel bad? Okay, what if this doesn't fail? What if this isn't? What if? And that's where my anxiety comes from. So I'm going to, instead of moving through the anxiousness, saying, okay, well, if I just get some more results that I'm anxious about, if I get my to-do list done, then I'll feel okay. I know better than that. And I want you to know better than that. And it's not pushing through these emotions that's going to help these emotions dissipate, or we don't experience them. It's hold the emotion, understand what is going on in my body right now, and then walk from there. I know this took me a really long time to figure out. This took me a really long time. So I want to lead right now this whole process of, and I hope I gave a good understanding of why I'm doing this. It's because I know that if I push through this, quite honestly, something tomorrow is going to happen where the same anxiety is going to pop up. Different activity might have triggered it, but the same feeling in my body is going to come up. If I don't sit with the emotion that's coming through my body right now, why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel like a fear of failure coming on? Why do I feel like there's disappointment? What's going on right now that's creating the bad emotion? If I don't sit with that, I know from experience that something else is going to happen where the same feeling of bad comes from, the feeling of not feeling confident comes from, self-consciousness, not enough, all these stuff that when they come up, I don't like experiencing them. So I just move through it. I push through it. I say, I don't want to, it's like push it away, push it away, push it away, push it away. But when I push it away, I know I just store it in my body to be experienced later. It's like, what is a good analogy? Here it is, because my yard is filled with weeds. It's like pulling up the top half of a weed and you don't get at the roots. And so it just comes back again and you just grab it away. You're like, I don't want to look at that, but I also don't want to sit there and dig out these roots that I know it's not so easy just to pluck it. That's what we do with our negative emotions. We just take it away and just throw it in the backyard, but we don't get at the root of where this is coming from. So that's what my intention is to do. And I will come back, hopefully, with a good reflection of how I process these emotions. All right. Mwah. Wish me luck. He's back. Happy to say I'm back. Let's see. Let's count how many days it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And it wasn't, I promise it wasn't me just sitting there like living in anxiety and anxiousness and a panic attack. No. It wasn't that. But it was just, I was a little bit nervous to come back on and like confront myself with this one. to hold the accountability to say, this is my process for moving through this anxiousness. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because I'm like, I don't know if I have a full ownership of this, which is crazy because I know how to do this. I know how to handle this. And I also recognize and acknowledge that there's this beautiful growth and evolution over a lifetime from Melanie Ann Layer, my mentor. I know I talk about her all the time. It's okay. It's okay. Will constantly keep growing and evolving, keep growing and evolving, keep growing and evolving. And because we're constantly growing and evolving, we're always stretching for more. We're always stretching for more. We're always stretching for more. And so I don't think that this work will ever be where I've mastered holding emotions, or have I mastered where because I would always feel like, oh, if someone has mastered their own holding their emotions or mastered anxiety, that they don't experience anxiety anymore. And that's not the case. It's not the case. What is beautiful, though, is that I am evolving on the levels of how I process anxiety. I keep deepening it. I keep deepening it. I keep deepening it. Where the amount of times that I'm stuck in anxiousness are so much fewer and far between. I'm really proud of myself with how far I've gotten, honestly. And like I said at the beginning of the module too, 5 days ago, it's if we keep pushing these emotions down, they come back up almost in a repetitive motion, in a repetitive motion, in a repetitive motion. And what took me a little bit is that when I kept feeling like I've mastered it, feeling like I handled it, and then a different scenario would come up and it would show me where are the gaps that I haven't quite solved just yet. Or it'll show me the beautiful things of just like, if I say that I want to master my own anxiety and managing that and moving through emotions and holding emotions versus pushing through and going and making it worse, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, was like, okay, I'm going to show you the places that we can work on together. I'm going to show it to you. And that's where I feel like a lot of people have a hard time with personal development, because it feels like it's never tied up in a little bow and ready to go. Sure, though, we do have tied up, ready to go in a bow moments, right? We really do, especially too, if someone ever comes to you and asks you a question of what to do. We're like, oh, I got you. I got you. And then when you go through the scenario, you're like, oh, did I have myself? I'm like, yes, I did. But we see the worst in ourselves, don't we? We see the worst. We see what's going on in our brain. We see the trouble, the shifts and the back and forth conversations that are happening, and the emotions. We feel the emotions. We feel the emotions. We feel the emotions so much. And sometimes when we feel these emotions, we get on ourselves for like, Katie, you've worked so hard not to feel anxiety. You've worked so hard not to. So you get down on yourself. I used to get down on myself. I still get down on myself. But the reality is, and what I've come to realize, I think that I was a little bit worried about talking about this, is that it's not my fault that I experience emotions. That's not my job is to not experience emotions. My job is to figure out how to walk with these emotions. Do I react with the anxiety? Do I keep moving while I'm carrying around this anxiety? Like, come on, okay, let's do all of our work. You have such an important business. You have such an important relationship with Ryan. Come on, anxiety. Let's introduce you to everything that's important in your life. My work is to say, you're not invited. Please stop calling me. No. Our job is to not get disappointed with ourselves for experiencing these emotions, because we are human. Our growth and evolution comes from navigating these emotions and having the courage and the strength to sit with these emotions and to not let them mean anything about ourselves, to not let them define ourselves. So let me break down what I mean and also how I processed the anxiety from last Friday. So let's start with what I originally started off with. So I felt this anxiousness in my body. I felt this energy in my body of I needed to do. And I knew that by doing anything that was quote unquote productive, anything that was towards my business, that was kind of, I had a list of things that I wanted to accomplish for that. I knew that I did not want to introduce anxiety to the projects that I had going on. So I took myself out of that and I said, okay, what is something predictable that I can do that anxiety is not going to ruin? I was like, what can I do? What would make me feel this badass wanting of doing? What would make it feel accomplished? So it was looking at, okay, what are the tasks that would be a quick win for me, a quick result, something that my badass could be like, yay, I got it done. And for me, that was laundry. So it was folding 2 loads of laundry and putting it away. It was vacuuming and cleaning. And actually Ryan was doing a beautiful job. He was cleaning the house as well too. Cause I told him, I was like, I got a lot of stuff to do. Can we clean the house? So he was cleaning the house and then my anxiety came up. And so I went into the laundry. So the process of that it helped me of, again, how I was explaining in the beginning of this video 5 days ago, how my anxiety comes up when my badass is driving me, when my badass is the leader of my day, because my badass likes to do and do and do and do. And this comes from kind of me being in this masculine paradigm where results is what matters. Results is what matters. Results equals success. Versus a couple of episodes ago, we talked about how that's the old way of looking at things. And the new way is this feeling of fulfillment equals success. Fulfillment, feeling fulfillment first. So if you tap into, it's not, results does not equal success in life. The emotions, the feelings that you have equals where are you at right now? Are you in a good spot? Or are you in a bad spot? Regardless of what you have in your life, how do you feel? That day I felt anxious. So what I was experiencing and having, wasn't a win, was not a win. So I wanted to cultivate some experiences of feeling fulfillment. And I love having a clean house. I love having the laundry done. It's an easy win. So it's like, hey, what are the little things that I can cultivate fulfillment? And just because, and this is the difference, and actually I'm just realizing this too, so I'm dang proud of myself. I've done these things where I have this anxiousness and I say, let's just do an easy project. And I go into the laundry and I'm still feeling this anxiousness. I'm feeling this anxiousness because I was just going for the result of the laundry being done. But this time I was going for the accomplishment and the fulfillment of the laundry being done. The intention mattered. The intention made the biggest difference for me. The biggest difference. Because it's leaning into how am I feeling? It's leaning into that. And it's almost molding this anxiousness. And this is where I feel like how we're processing these emotions. I've heard people talk about you're walking through these emotions. You just let it kind of fall through you. And for me, it's almost like, and if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on social media, you're seeing my hands move and mold. It's almost molding and shifting my inner emotions, inner feelings into what I want it to be. That's what I feel like processing the emotion is. It's like a physical, it's molding, it's moving, it's what are the activities that I can mold this emotion with that'll help this anxiety like move into fulfillment. So it's, again, the intention of doing the laundry was not for results. It was for the fulfillment of getting the laundry done. So different, so small also. So small also. And this is what I mean by it's like, it feels like it's not mastery because it's like I'm doing the same things over that I've done for years and years, but it's who I am being as I'm doing these that is making the difference. Which I know it drives people insane. It drives people insane to hear the concept. It's not what you do, it's who you're being, right? And I talk about this all the time. But that's where, and I talk with my clients on context first. Context first. What's the context of how you're doing something? So that's the first step of processing the emotion, is just to go back into the context of who I'm being that day and the activities behind that. It's hard. This is where I say it's not complicated work, but it's not simple either. And again, this took just practice and practice and practice. And the beautiful thing about this is that, again, and the most frustrating thing about this is it'll show you again and again and again where you have little cracks in your foundation, where you have things to clean up. This is where I had some difficulties with the personal development field, because I feel like it's just, we take puzzle pieces from other people's puzzle and we try to put them into ours. And when we're doing that, we leave, it might look like it fits. And I used to do these with puzzles. I used to jam those puzzle pieces into what I thought would fit. And I'm like, this puzzle sucks. I hate puzzles. This is the worst. And that's what we do some of the times. We just take what other people are saying and we just try to copy and paste it or shove it into another puzzle piece that we currently have. And then we get frustrated when there's leaks, when it feels like it's not complete, or when we like bump the puzzle and it completely breaks apart and you're like, what just happened? And then the next step was just, again, going back and figuring out what are activities that will help me mold this anxiety into what I want it to be. And these activities for me, it's reminding myself of who I know myself to be. Reminding myself of who I know myself to be. This is the conversation about confidence where people say they want to do things to be it, and that they want to just have confidence, and that they just want to be happy, be magnetic, be alluring, be confident. And they just feel like they have it one day and that's it. They see other people effortlessly walk by and have it. And they're like, well, they have it. I don't. Confidence is a choice. It's a choice. And confidence comes from knowing two things: of you are going to be okay no matter what. And confidence is you follow through on your word. So when I was having feelings of self-doubt, of social comparison, of questioning myself, of feeling like I'm not enough, it's all rooted in just this questioning of who I am, this feeling of not confident in myself. And so when those feelings come up, again, it's good to experience those feelings, because it just shows you, we got to keep choosing it. We got to keep choosing it. We got to keep choosing it. And I don't ever believe it'll be a day where I don't have to choose it. And I'm kind of grateful for that, to be honest. I'm kind of grateful, because just imagine if I keep choosing it and keep growing in my confidence and growing in my confidence and always having to go back to choose it again, choose it again, choose it again. It's like it's almost just like something that it's a masterpiece, a work of art that you want to keep going at and keep making it better and making it better and making it better and making it better. And that's how artists create masterpieces, isn't it? It's to just keep looking at it and refine it and refine it and refine it. And yeah, there's a difference between like being obsessive about it and being like, this sucks, this isn't worth it, this is great, this is da, da, da. But that's not what I'm talking about here. It's just to go back and keep saying like, you are the one, Katie. You're confident. You've got this. And then go again and go again and go again. And it's just reminding myself of what are my promises that I've made to myself? What are the what's my word to myself that I said I was going to do? Remind myself of it. That's where confidence comes from. The confidence comes from that your word, you follow through on it. And then the confidence comes from just knowing that you'll be okay no matter what. So it's looking at, okay, this anxiousness that was coming up in my mind. Am I like, what's going on here? Am I like in peril right now? Am I going to die? Am I in danger? No? Okay. Worst case scenario that's going to happen. Are you going to be okay if that happens? Yeah, I am going to be. How do you know that? I just know it. Well, what if it happens? Okay, I'll be okay. I will be okay. So that was the next step, was just really going back and just remember ROI, retrospection and introspection. So I was doing some introspection. If every emotion has a positive intention, we get a return on our investment. We get a return on our investment with every part of emotion that comes through. It's good to feel these emotions. So what's the ROI? Okay, let's do some retrospection and introspection. What's happening? Where do you need to pivot? What's not working? What's working? And then introspection. Where's the confidence coming from? This is it. It truly, okay, here it is. When you're going through anxiousness, if you feel like you need to move physically the emotion, go and do something that's a quick win, that's based on fulfillment. That's number one. And then number two, contemplate. What I ended up doing is I took what I had for that plan for the day and completely scratched it. Said, see ya. I molded myself by going and doing the laundry, doing activities that were solely for fulfillment, make me feel good, get my head right? Like we've heard these sayings, get your head right, take a breather, get some fresh air. I did activities that like molded this anxiousness into feeling just solid. It doesn't have to be over the top, like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing and I'm the best person in the world. No, that's not realistic. Just solid. I did activities that just made me feel happy, made me feel grateful in the moment. I know everybody in the grandma talks about gratitude, but that really is, if you are in these deeper emotions, it's not about getting straight back into happiness, happy. It's, can we equalize this? Can we get on just a solid where you don't feel good, but you don't also aren't like compounding the negative emotion as well either. And that middle line is just gratitude. That's why gratitude is just being present in the moment and being grateful for something in this moment. And I know sometimes people will say like, I'm grateful for this puppy, I'm grateful for this thing. And it's just like, it's almost a load of BS that you're saying this. You don't really feel it. That's why like I have activities that I feel gratitude in. That's going outside, that's going on a hike, that's going on a walk with Cabby, with the intention, again, the intention of feeling fulfillment, not just getting it done. Because I've gone on walks with Cabby where I'm like, gratitude. There's the Holderness family actually on Instagram has a great video of this. It's like, I'm going on my mental health walk. And it's just like angry people going on their mental health walk. I've done that with Cabby. I'm like, I am going to be so grateful after this walk. Oh my God. And then I'm just like in that headspace of just like checking it off, getting the result versus going for the fulfillment. So that's it. That's sit with the emotion, process the emotion, feel fulfillment first, get on a level playing field where it's not, you're not compounding the emotion of the negative. And you don't have to compound the emotion of the happiness either, too. That's okay. Just solid. And then get into your boss mode. Get into contemplative mode. Get some goddamn ROI in your life. Return on investment, ROI. Retrospection, introspection. It's so important. And it's so just the first thing to go. It's the first thing to go. The amount of people that journal, the amount of people that actually not just think, but contemplate, it's not there. One moment. We're not prioritizing this. And that's why right now we're at a high level of people that are experiencing anxiousness, that are experiencing mental health issues, that are experiencing depression. And I know there's chemical imbalances happening in the brain for some, but for a lot, it's just the understanding the emotions and letting the emotions compound in a way that we do not want them to be compounded in the negative. If I would have sat with the anxiousness and kept doing and going, I 100% would have compounded that emotion of anxiety into more and more and more, into bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've done this time and time and time again. No more. No more. So I know this, I really wanted, my intention was to come out with like a structure of step 1, step 2, step 3, or 5 things that you can do. It just didn't feel authentic. And I wanted this just to be real from the heart. Real from the heart. So guys, I love you. And I hope some moment this week takes your breath away. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. My goal is to help as many women listening. And if this episode supported you in any way, the very best way to show your appreciation is by simply screenshotting this episode and sharing on your social media or with your friends. Or even better, drop a review on whatever platform you are listening on. Don't forget, if you are looking for any additional support, you can always reach me on Instagram at Katie Christ. See you back here next week.